Hello, this is Marcel of Marcel on Tech, and today I'm talking about my favorite, to be honest, probably smartphone in the world at the moment. This is a foldable device. It is absolutely brilliant, and it is of course the Honor Magic V3, and it is just mind-blowing. But if you're considering getting a new phone or you want to enter into the world of foldable devices, I'm going to give you 10 reasons why you should seriously consider this amazing device. Let's get into it. Most of the problems that people have experienced with foldable devices, particularly from the Samsung to even the Google Fold 1, is that the usability of the front screen is actually somewhat limited, or it has been at the least anyway. But this device, the Honor device, has, I think, cracked it with the 6.7-inch across screen, and it just is absolutely perfect in the hand. I found that with the Samsung, it was far too narrow and taller, and it just didn't suit me as an aspect ratio because I found it too narrow to use with two hands especially. More usable with one hand, but much less with two. But this device, when you use it with just on the front screen, you have got a fully functioning candy bar phone that just like any other that you can get now. So with this beautiful 120 Hertz screen, which is LTPO, what that basically means is it can go all the way down to 1 Hertz and all the way up to 120. What does that mean for you, the average person? It just means that it is super, super smooth and it's as efficient on battery as it can be as well. So the front screen is fantastic, and you could spend the whole day without ever opening it once, and you'll have full functionality with just that front screen in a premium way, just like any other flagship device that you might buy. Reason number 2, in terms of versatility and usability, it comes with a case in the box. I can't emphasize how handy it is to have this case. Now, this is the back side of the case, and it comes with a hinge protector as well. This incredible hinge that is really tucked away on this device comes with a hinge protector. So even if it lands on the side or you've got it standing up and so on, you're holding it for gripability because it uses a vegan leather material instead of this very nice matte glass back, which is really, really nice in the hand, but it is a tiny bit slippery, but it feels and looks fantastic. This offers 1, more gripability, and 2, this incredible addition, which is of course a kickstand. This kickstand is brilliant. You might not need it all the time, but for the occasion that you do, you can pop your phone down, watch it in full screen with the dual screens open, and it is absolutely brilliant. And it's just incredibly useful to have in the box, ready to use, and fits, of course, absolutely perfectly. I've already mentioned that it has a 120 Hertz screen on the outside, but it also has the 120 Hertz on the inside, and that makes it an absolute pleasure to view. So when you open what feels like a regular phone into this double real estate space, it is absolutely brilliant in terms of usability, visuals, image quality, smoothness. It just is on a whole nother level. Now, it's comparable, sure, to something like the Samsung. The Samsung also has a fantastic inner screen that is quite nicely laid out. I have to say the aspect ratios are slightly different, but they are absolutely brilliant panels on the inside. And I would have to say that the crease, which is often a deciding factor for a lot of people on the V3, is way better. To look at the crease on the V3, you don't even really see it, and it's not even something that is a factor when you're using the device. You just don't even feel it. So what they've done here is unbelievable and really impressive engineering. So a factor that's going to be very important is performance, because this is a flagship device. There's no holding back. It has got the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, which is of course the premium CPU for all flagship devices at the moment, particularly on Android, of course. And it is just brilliant. I had no stutters, no app crashes. I can game on this device if I want to. I've installed the most demanding games I can find, and I've had 0 problems with it whatsoever. I've done multitasking on this device, which is an absolute beast. I can have 4 screens open or 3, dual split screen, and then floating apps and multiple open tabs as well. It just does everything that I've thrown at it without any problems. So number 5 is going to be AI integration. Now, of course, as we know, every new smartphone and flagships are absolutely integrating AI into their software massively, and they've done the same here with the Magic V3. However, it's not necessarily as extensive as, for example, the Pixel phones or the Samsung Fold phones or the S24, but it is very good. So where we can see this is that we can do Magic Search, so we can obviously look for searchability things using our knuckle in order to search for an item, a picture, something you see on any given website, which works really, really well and is very, very straightforward. Now, to talk about the gallery app, this is probably one of the most extensive gallery apps that I've seen for both photo editing and video editing as well. Now, if you're familiar with a piece of software called CapCut, which is a fantastic free video editor, the gallery built into this phone is actually almost exactly the same as that piece of software. So if you're familiar with one, the other one's going to be very, very useful for you. So it's really quite impressive, actually, how much you can do to video edit on the actual device itself. And because it's got the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, it's very snappy, it's really good, and it's very, very easy to use. And of course, you've got the real estate of a dual screen, so you've just got that much more room to play with. Is the Magic Portal. So let's say you are looking at an image online and you want to share that with somebody else. It's incredibly easy to pick up, to literally drop and drag. So you pick up that image, drag it over to the side of the screen, and you can select whichever software you want to put it into, whether it be WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, Gmail, things like that. It's incredibly useful. So it's actually surprising how useful that feature is. Once you remember that it's there, for sharing, it's really, really efficient. Now, inside the gallery app, again, aside from having the fantastic editing tools that you actually have something called Tap to Compare. So if we go into our gallery app, it's extremely simple. Inside the gallery, if there are two images that I want to compare with each other, particularly similar images, it's very, very useful. So you select two images that you want to show, you hit the compare button at the bottom, and you can then directly compare those two images, and it will lock both images so you can look at the same thing at the same time. Zooming in, pinch to zoom, of course, and directly compare those two images together. And that's really, really helpful. I actually wasn't aware of that one until I saw it recently. And it's so useful because there are images sometimes you want to see which one looks a little better. And that's just a very simple but clever tool inside the gallery app. You do have Magic Eraser, so if there is something in an image that you don't particularly like or want, if you go to the edit tool, you can actually eliminate that background or that item that you want to get rid of. And I found that the image eraser is really, really good. It's very reliable. It's able to predict, obviously, the environment. Now, you can't expand on an image like you can on the Pixels or the Samsung. So you can't find more of the same image if you wanted to increase the real estate that you've taken an image of, but you can erase things that are there. And that's often much more useful and much more frequently used as well. Then on this device, you've also got one of the biggest batteries on any foldable. This has got a 5,150 milliamp hour battery, which is just amazing considering how thin a form factor this thing really is. It's absolutely incredible. And that is bigger than the Samsung Fold as well. Now, where do we see this translate? Well, you're gonna have all day battery life. That means if I'm using the front screen, I'm probably gonna have a day and a half at least. If I'm using both and I'm intensively using watching videos or playing games, I've always been able to get to the end of my day with about 10-15% if I've been using this heavily. And I've been using this device very heavily over the last week that I've had it. And every day it gets to the end of the day. So I'm very often sometimes not charging it up. I certainly don't charge it up overnight anymore because it's so quick to charge, and that is brilliant. And because it comes with a 66-watt charger, you get very fast charging cabled, and wirelessly you actually get 50 watts, which is really, really good by comparison again to something like the Samsung as well. Stylus support. Now, there was a lot of hoo-ha around whether or not these devices, and I was going to call it a tablet there, actually work with styluses, and the Samsungs initially didn't, but now they do. But here's the difference. You have to pay for that stylus separately. When you order from Honor direct, as I did if you've watched my first video, if you order direct from Honor, you actually get a gift of a stylus. So this stylus you can purchase for around 80 euros, so it's not cheap, but I have to say, it's probably my favorite stylus because it looks like your average pen. It's got a button push, it's got a really nice nib, it's well weighted because it's not too big and heavy and wide, which makes it feel like a toy. And of course, it works really, really well. The contact, there's two forms of functionality. One is that you can write on the whole screen. So if you push the button, it will basically allow you to write on full screen, where you can write on any part of the actual device. So if you wanted to write something on the screen, then you could write something out. Now, admittedly, it isn't that good to translate from my handwriting, but I have terrible handwriting. So in fairness, it is quite a bit of a challenge. It does work very, very well. So if we were to write on there, what we would end up with, and I find it extremely responsive, very, very comfortable, and most importantly, the palm rejection is really good. So I can lean my hand on there and continue to write, and it's completely ignoring the fact that I've got my palm on the screen. That's very, very important. And obviously, when you're using it for art, for notifications, for note-taking, I find this pen is really, really functional. So I have to say, as a gift that you're getting, then it's absolutely fantastic. Of course, the only disadvantage is there is no silo or storage ability here. It doesn't go anywhere on or around the phone. I believe you can get a case that stores it, but I haven't found that. But it comes with a clip on the stylus or pen, so you can obviously clip it into a pocket or put it into your bag or whatever you want to do. So that is more likely to stay safe. Or of course, you keep it in what I feel is a very, very nice keep safe box that I have to say is probably one of my preferred ways of transporting it around. And that comes with the device as a gift. So really cool. Now, little bonus, of course, is that this device also has a service called Magic Ring. So Magic Ring, when you pull down from the top menu there, you've got Magic Ring, which is a service that is the ecosystem for Honor. So if you have any other Honor device, you can identify that device on the same Wi-Fi, and you can then connect to it and use as a remote. So for example, if I was using a tablet, then I did actually purchase the Honor Pad, Honor X8A, and I can use the phone's full functionality projected onto the tablet, which is really cool. Now, you may have seen that demoed by Apple, who have just brought that in, and that service has been available on Honor for over 4 years, which is absolutely nuts. So it's been around for a very long time, and only the major players like Apple are bringing that into their software now. But basically, you can project or display your full phone's functionality through your tablet and use it as you see fit and when you want. And of course, for data transfer, file transfer, it's absolutely brilliant and very, very well integrated. So if you have any other devices like a watch or a computer or a laptop, then the integration and the ecosystem is really well defined, and it's very, very clever. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope those are 10 plus 1 bonus that you found interesting. And obviously, if you are interested in getting the Honor device, hit me up. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe as well. If you've got one already, please tell me what your experience has been like. But otherwise, if you want any further information or any particular videos, just let me know, put a comment below. Otherwise, I'll see you very, very soon for my next one. Bye-bye for now.